Hey y'all, welcome back. Episode 3, season 2. We bring back our main man, our basketball knowledge. I guess I don't even know, like Savant Guru, whatever you want to call him, Cyrus, to talk about the NCAA this week. We didn't have time last week because if you haven't listened, it's almost like a 2-hour long episode again. So get those listening ears ready to go. We're going to dive into some basketball. We're going to dive into some of the craziness that's been going on with the sports world this week. But Cyrus, give a warm welcome again.
Well, I am Cyrus Keith Johnson Jr. That's my full name.
We're getting super official
just
now.
so I can put
I love it.
I'm not even going to call you Cyrus anymore. You're going to be Keith.
Actually, I have no problem with that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's like, all right, everyone that's listening, I'm going to say this and no one take it the wrong way. Cyrus, Keith is like one of the whitest names ever.
Yeah, that's my father's name too.
Oh, gee. Well, good for your dad to pass that name down to you. I appreciate that.
And then I am the guy who tried out for a G League team. I played basketball since the 8th grade. I was recruited by a couple of colleges, and I've been playing ever since. Still play against semi-pro, some other guys that are probably have passed their prime with maybe, but yeah, that's me.
Nice. What G League team did you try out for?
Delaware Blue Hens.
Nice. That's pretty dope.
Yeah,
I tried like the Blue Coats now, right?
The Blue Coats, yeah, it's Blue Coats. Yeah. But yeah, I tried out. I tried out, and I just turned 40. I just turned 40 or 41, somewhere around there. I had tried out, just to say I did it because I've cool. Always, it was open tryout, $175. Just wanted to say that I actually did it, just to see how I gauge. I know 15. If I was 25, 26, I would have had a shot. Hard to do it when there was a 41-year-old and they don't put me in the wrong group. I got a 6'2" point guard who doesn't like to give the ball to people. Yeah, that really doesn't work out for me. And I got to play this. Yeah, and I got to play this 6'7", 6'8" guy.
Dude, that reminds me of my AAU days. And I had a teammate on my team. I'm 6'4", so I'm not a short human being at all. Right. He was 6'10" in high school. Didn't go on and play college ball. Just basketball apparently just wasn't his forte. Right. We're playing up at UAlbany at an AAU tournament, and one team has a guy that's 6'9", bulky, big white dude, and he goes, "You can guard him." I'm going, "I'm 6'4". See the power forward that's my height? I should guard him. He goes, "No, I'm gonna guard him. You can take him." I was like, this is ridiculous. I went out and guarded him. Dude, I put on like a clinic for defense that day. That guy he still scored like 15 points, but I held him like rebounded him. I was boxing his ass out. I'm like, nope, not doing this. My coach afterwards is like, "Good play." I go, "How many rebounds did I get and how many fouls did I give?" He goes, "You had 12 rebounds. Okay. And you had 4 fouls." I'm like, "That's fine." I gave him hack a shack. Whatever. Kevin, you are definitely sleeping.
Yeah, he's muted too.
Kevin, are you awake? I think he is. Oh, he left. All right, well, Kevin left. I don't know what we did to upset him already. Shit. Sorry, Kevin. Love you.
Sorry, Kev.
But Kevin is probably going to be in and out this episode. He's worked with his dad on doing a house project, so he's a little tired. So we'll give him benefit of the doubt. While he just kind of dips off real quick, we'll jump in the weekly sports update. Okay. I would have to say, besides the Brittany Griner news that came out, and we're not going to go into it. Right. She's spending 9 years in jail right now. Hopefully things can work out where she's not.
Hopefully.
Fingers are crossed for her, but that's been talked about enough. We're going to talk about the two things that happened, I think, yesterday and this morning. Jaylen Brown and Aaron Donald both removing themselves from Donda Sports. Mm-hmm. fantastic move in my opinion.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Leaving a sport representation of somebody that may, we all know has some type of mental illnesses that he does not take care of, and making some very hateful and anti-Semitic remarks. So I love that the two of them stepped away from that and got away from that light that has been kind of portrayed on Kanye West, or Ye, whatever you want to call him. So, or is it Ye, the artist Ye, formerly known as the artist West?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like that. Yeah, honestly, when I saw that, I said good for them, because, and I agree with you. It's so much going on with him, and whatever he has going on, I hope he gets help for, because the guy makes, listen, for if you take everything else away, if he never talked again, other if you just heard him rapping his music, I think he would just be fine. But
oh my god, if he just rapped, I would. And this is not like what the sports announcer said years ago, just shut up and dribble. No, we're not saying that.
No,
don't ever want to think that. We're thinking that Kanye West, he's admitted that he has issues, mental issues, whatever they are, and when he doesn't take his medicine, things can happen.
Right.
I really hope somebody gets to him and says, let's figure you out. Let's take a break from the real world, and see where things go. This one happened today, and I feel bad for this football player, Robert Quinn, who was drafted by the Bears, has played with the Bears his whole career, got traded to the Eagles today for a 4th round pick. He was in the middle of a press conference when the trade happened.
Wow, that's crazy.
Middle of a press conference, and the Bears are like, oh, guess what? You're traded. And it's like, bro, he's like one of your best defensive players in years. And you're trading him and telling him, hey, peace during a press conference.
They didn't even pull him to the side or anything. They just didn't. They just
apparently I think a reporter saw the news come up on their phone and was like, Robert, and there's a picture of him literally face tucked in his shirt, and he's crying. And I don't know if it's tears of happiness, tears of sadness, whatever it was, but like he cut the press conference short because of the emotions. So Kevin, you're back.
Are we sure you're talking about Robert Quinn that was thrown off? Because I thought that was a Bears teammate that was crying.
No,
it wasn't Robert Quinn.
When I thought it was said it was Quinn.
Roquan Smith.
No, when I read it, it said Robert Quinn was what I saw. Said Robert Quinn.
Oh, that's crazy.
But either way, if it's either one or the other, but like Roquan Smith's not going to be on the Bears much longer.
I honestly, I think that team's going to be a dumpster fire at some point in time.
Hey, you know what? That dumpster fire beat the crap out of my Patriots. So
no, I don't mean like that. I mean, I think they want to go back to the formula like some of the other groups had, where they want to just kind of draft. They want to draft their talent for the next couple of years, because they've had these big contracts that didn't work out. So I guess the easiest way to do that is to kind of relieve themselves of that and just kind of say, okay, we'll go back to the drawing board. I mean, they got rid of it. I mean, if anything, if they were going to, try to make a winner, they could have kept Allen Robinson, right? You would have kept Allen Robinson. That was the case, but you didn't. So, I don't think that's the case. I think that's more or less they just wanted. I think it's trying to, because didn't what's the name just do that in the NBA? Somebody else did that in the NBA. They're starting to they got rid of somebody else.
They get rid of players like it's their job.
Yeah, it's some team. Oh no, that's what it was. I heard a rumor that they were talking about Utah Jazz talk about trading Bogdanovich. Who's the point guard? Conley.
Yeah,
and somebody else for Russell Westbrook and 2 other picks.
God, that would make the Lakers actually decent at shooting a 3-pointer.
Yeah, I mean, this is what teams do. They start over. This is the easiest way to start over, is get rid of big contracts and, go through the draft.
Yep, it is. It is the best way, unless like you can make the money work. and just kind of rebuild at the same time, like the Patriots are trying to do. Rebuild, but also be competitive, which they're not this year. They're going to get a top 15 draft pick again, maybe a top 10, and that's fine. Build it up, get some better offensive weapons, and get some better coaching. That's my spiel on football. So we mentioned this before we started the show tonight. UNC, after 1 year with Hubie Davis, the head basketball coach, has extended their contract with him for another 6 years. So I think he signed a 4-year deal last year. So now he's tied to UNC for 10 more years, 9 more years, really, at this point. And I think it's like $16 million a year. Man is making bank, and they're the number 1 team in the country. So I'll take it. As a UNC fan, I will 100% take that. I love it.
But they've been doing that they've been doing that every time they get a guy that's like a top 10 coach or turn out to be a top 10 coach. They've been doing it, especially like I think they started that with
Roy.
Yeah, not so much, but it was Kansas Roy. They did that with Roy when Roy was at Kansas.
Yeah.
And they wind up beefing up this big deal for like 6 years. And then they did that with Tarkanian. Tarkanian was winning, so they did it with Tarkanian when he was at Fresno State. I mean, obviously he got kicked out of Fresno State for whatever his legal, whatever he was doing illegally. But like every major program that has gotten a major guy, like a top figure guy, they've done that because they see that they don't want them because after 4 years, if you think about it, after 4 seasons, which is comes up pretty quickly, he probably somebody would have tried to get him to come,
yeah, but I don't think
something like that.
I don't think he'd leave since he is a Tar Heel. Like he went.
Oh no, I don't think he would have, but somebody would have tried to give him the money for it. So it's just a way to make sure that he doesn't,
think of it in 4 years, you might see a huge turnover in the coaching trees of Jim Boeheim most likely won't be coaching. Calipari might not be coaching. He could be at the tail end of his coaching career. Who else? Rick Pitino, who came back and he's now coaching again. He potentially may not be there anymore. He's getting older. So, yeah, I can agree with you. Like big colleges or different universities could try to reach out for somebody. But I like it because it's UNC and it's going to make Cyrus upset. So
that is not going to actually, you know what? I am okay with that. I am okay with that because just like they did with Coach K, when they found somebody they liked and they can afford to give them the money, like they gave Coach K, listen, we'll give you a lifetime deal. It's an every year deal. If you decide you want to quit at whatever time, so be it. But it's an every year deal until you get whatever. I'm fine with that. And I actually like it when UNC and Duke are competitive.
Oh yeah.
It makes every game that they play or they show
meaningful.
It sucks when it doesn't. Yeah.
I wish last year, now granted UNC won, the 2 out of the 3 games. I wish it was Roy versus K in their last three games. I wish it was those 2 coaches. Yeah. I love Hubie Davis. I think he's fantastic. I love him to death. Just because he's a charismatic human being. Right. You can see the team is bought into him. And we'll touch more on this as we go tonight through this episode. But truly, I believe that it would have been unreal if both those coaches duked it out like they did and then retired at the same time. Like,
yeah,
unreal. We thought the ticket prices for Coach K's final game were ridiculous. Think if both of them was their final game at Cameron or anything. Like,
so the last did UNC play one more game after that Duke game, or was the Duke game their last game for the season? As far as the regular season.
The regular season, the Duke game was the end of the regular season.
Yeah, so that's what they do. They always make that game, and they always make that game.
Yeah, it's usually the last game or one of the last games.
Right.
Kevin, I know you're slightly falling asleep, so we've already let everyone know when you jumped off real quick that you might pass out. So how you feeling?
Man, Kev.
How you feeling?
we are just Danny. I jumped off because my parents were asking me to do something, so I just had to run off and do that for them. Sorry.
You got.
Man, you're good, man.
You
You're
got to
good.
appease the family. You can't make them upset.
Yeah, or else I'm living on the street. So
Yeah,
it is what it is.
that's very, very true. Very true.
Well, Kev, you know you don't have to live on the street. You can come. You can come live. You can come live here if you want.
Or here.
Or there.
Yeah, you got options, bro.
There you go.
You can go live with Leland in West Virginia if you
There you
want.
go. There you go.
He's got room.
Eh?
Kevin's like, no. 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 Morgantown's fun to go to. And Leland, we love you, but I don't think we could live there.
I haven't been there yet, so
I know who's coming to a football game with us.
I believe I am.
I believe Cyrus is. Oh
Let's see.
boy. And then this is kind of for anyone that loves March Madness or college basketball. This name is synonymous with that. Jim Nantz. This year, this upcoming March Madness in 2023 will be his last. I think he is officially retiring at the end of this year. So definitely sad. I'm going to miss listening to him during all the CBS games and stuff, because that's what we've all grown up on, is Jim Nantz talking basketball and all this memories.
Yeah, he's been there a long. I mean,
Dude.
I remember cutting high school to go watch games and hearing him call the games. So yeah, he's been doing it for a while.
Yep.
I graduated high school in '96, so he's been doing it for a long time. So,
geez, you are really dating yourself. I graduated high school 12 years after that. So did Kevin.
It's okay, Cyrus.
We love you still.
I know, but
still.
I still look young enough and better than half of the 35 rolls around. So I'm good with that.
Hey, that's fine. That is totally fine. So Kevin, you got is that a Long Beach?
That is Long Beach.
It's got to be Long Beach.
Well, I will let you figure it out. Google it at some point. I needed to dig into the archives for this jersey, but I digged and digged because both of you said I was just going to wear a West Virginia jersey. But I was like, you know what? Started the college basketball season. I need to switch it up. So, yes, this is a Long Beach State game jersey from back in the day. And there's not many players that have played in the league from Long Beach State, but the reason this one is special is because he was a New Jersey Net. He helped the Nets get to the playoffs and into the finals.
Lucius Harris.
That's the one.
Oh, wow.
This is number 35, Lucius Harris from Long Beach State. Given to me from my cousin when I was younger. I still fit into it, as you can see. And yeah, this is like hidden in the archives. So I thought I'd bring this out for the celebration of the college basketball season.
We can have a game with just the jerseys you have.
Oh my god!
I haven't. I don't even know if I've even reached to like a 10th of the basketball jerseys that I have.
Dude, I'm still waiting for the day that you do the video of like all the different jerseys and just change, like drop them. I can't wait for that.
I think I'll figure it out. I think what I'll do is like we can make it a real. Do I want to like separate it from like types of jerseys, or should I just honestly just like let it go?
I think you have to do one that's like basketball and then football.
Yeah.
Basketball, football. I think that's how you have to do it. You can't do like basketball and football together because that'd just be a hodgepodge.
That's gonna be too much stress. Yeah, I agree.
And I don't think anyone would appreciate it as much.
Yes. So I will. That one will be like later down the road when I bring that back, when I do that. But it will happen because it's making me figure out, man, what else is like left? Because I had to reach back into the archives to find this one. So, but this is like what is it? It's a double X.
Holy mother of God.
Yeah. So
is that a dress X on you?
Pretty much. So, but
so Kevin is like completely nothing underneath. He's just like, whatever.
If I wanted to, like, yeah, pretty much. But yeah, Lucius Harris, Long Beach State. Shout out to Cyrus for again getting trivia questions for us.
Jeez, dude, I would never have guessed that.
And he got out of the first try. Like, yeah, it's Lucius Harris.
Like, this is why Cyrus is like the NBA and basketball guru here.
If we were on like Phone a Friend for like Who Wants to Become a Millionaire, and it was a college basketball, or
I'm calling Cyrus 100%.
Calling Cyrus 100%. Yes.
All right, so I'm not wearing.
Where is your hat,
dude? All right. So Monday we got all that rain here in New York.
Mhm.
We had a huge water leak in my master bedroom, so we had basically Niagara Falls in my windows. My gutters were kind of clogged, so I unclogged those, and that helped. But since Monday, I've had 6 different contractors or window companies come out to quote putting new windows in and doing all that. So this week has been a crazy up and down type of week. So tonight we had a group come to the house around 4:00, and they left 30 minutes ago. We signed with them, so we have a good amount of money coming out of our pockets that we're paying over time, which is nice. We don't have to pay anything up front if we don't want. And we're getting brand new windows, a brand new French door, sliding door for our bedroom. So it'll be really nice, and it's going to be done before Christmas. So amazing. I'll take that. That's why I don't have a hat on tonight. I didn't feel like diving in and just grabbing a random hat, but I am wearing a t-shirt my wife got me. Boston, the greatest sports town in all America. Can't beat it. Sorry.
I mean, I beg to differ, but
you beg to differ.
You beg to differ.
We just have the most championships, and I don't count the. Actually, we still do. Even the you add the Yankees in there because no one else has ever really won in New York. So
hey, you got a point, yeah. Because the Knicks only have one.
They only have two.
Knicks have 2. The Patriots have 6. The Bruins have. I think the Bruins have 4 total.
Yeah, the Rangers have 2.
I was going to say the Rangers only got 2.
The Celtics have 17. And the Red Sox
don't they have like 7?
I think they have 7 or 8.
So the Yankees make up most of the New York New York championships with 9, right? So they got 9.
No, the Yankees have
27.
27. I'm sorry,
they have 27, but 27. They don't count. If you're a true baseball person, they don't always think that they're the same because they won 9 or something since like the creation of the actual major league. Prior to that, they won a bunch.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, okay, all right. So 27. Yeah, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, which football team do you count for New York? Well, obviously.
Well, you count them all.
I was getting ready to say you count Buffalo. Well,
the Jets have 1.
You can't count Buffalo. Do you count Buffalo because it is New York?
No, we don't count Buffalo. Buffalo is a whole nother entity.
Okay. No, Buffalo's part of New York. You count New York.
But New York, it's not part of New York City.
I'm not counting the city. I'm counting the state.
So then you would have to count then.
Okay, if you want to just count the city, all right, we'll just count the city.
Count the city for now.
27. The Giants have
4 from the Giants.
4, so that's 31.
Plus 1 from the Jets.
1. And then 4 from the Rangers and Knicks combined.
Yes.
So you're at 35, right?
35. All
right, so 17. 6. That is 23. Oh, wow. This might be a lot closer than I thought. We're saying the Red Sox have 7 or 8?
Let's look, right.
31.
I'm saying it's.
And then the Bruins. So yeah, it's pretty close. It's like almost exactly tied. Look up the Bruins and the Red Sox.
All right, Red Sox is 9.
9, okay. So
and then Bruins
9, 15,
6,
32, 30. We have 38 championships.
Patriots have
6. And the the Celtics have 17.
And the Celtics Yes, Celtics have 17. Yes.
So yeah, we have 3 more championships in the city of New York.
Okay.
And ours are spread out more.
Okay. So then wait, if you're counting all New York City, and does that mean you count the Mets championships as well?
How many do the Mets have? They have like 2.
Mets have also 2. So then it would be by 1 then.
Cool. Still win. That's all that matters to me.
That's why when you said that, I was thinking about that because I didn't. You really don't think about it. Buffalo was in New York, right? And you really, like I said, you honestly don't.
But
think
Buffalo's
about
never won anything.
Yeah. So, but you don't like. That's what I'm saying. You like because
Yeah.
New England, technically, if you think about it, New England, not unless you think New England is not really part of Boston, but it really is. So you just don't.
We have 6 states that root for one city.
Yeah, I mean, and technically, and the only thing that stinks is like the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets are part of New York, but they really weren't originally part of New York. They've always been a part of They've always been New Jersey. They were New York. They were New York Nets for the ABA for a hot minute. And then when they switched over to the NBA, they were New York Nets for like a season or 2. Then they switched to New Jersey Nets.
Yeah, I would say they're Jersey. I don't count them.
I can't count. Like I said, I can't count them.
No.
The Nets haven't won the championship, right? No.
No, not since the ABA merger.
They won a bunch before.
They were in the ABA, but they didn't win.
They won like 2 or 3 when they were in Long Island for the ABA, but then when they moved to New Jersey, the closest was like those early 2000 teams with Jason Kidd getting into the finals.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Kevin, do you have any new cards this week or no?
Negative. 2nd week in a row, basically just because of the fact that we are having lots of plans for our second segment for We're Out Here. We will share them sooner.
Yeah, we'll share those
as they get a little bit closer.
We'll share those at the end of the episode. Because I need to ask a question of you two at the end.
Yeah.
And then fantasy. How'd you all do? Because I actually had a winning record.
Let's go.
I won. I actually won.
I went 2-1 this past week.
Nice.
And I'm projected to win in all my games again this week, but we all know how that works. It doesn't. But like my team got decimated because Breece Hall's gone. He got injured.
I feel
bad for him.
I feel bad for him too. It sucks.
Dude, he was moving up towards being that rookie of the year for sure. How'd you do, Kevin?
2-1 as well. I just got decimated in one league by one of the teams. Every other game was close. But I had some losses this week. Like I lost David Njoku for a couple weeks for one of my teams. He was a tight end playing my flex position because this team is a 14-team league and they're just like slim pickings. I desperately need a quarterback for my big money league because Russell Wilson isn't doing it. It is so bad. Like,
dude, take Daniel Jones. I picked him up.
So I actually have him picked up in one of my other leagues because I have Pat Mahomes because he has a bye this week. So it's when
Daniel Jones has more fantasy points than Lamar Jackson. Yeah. That's what happened to me this past week.
The fact that like he's actually running and not getting killed.
He has more rushing yards than
there was a list of like 8.
Yeah, I seen that. He had more rushing yards than
crazy.
And he's averaging like I think he's rushed the ball 70 something times and he's got like 360 yards.
He's doing exactly what he's supposed to. He's not losing the game for them.
That's
it. He's doing. He comes in. I don't have it. It's not where it's supposed to be. I'm not throwing it. I'm running it. I'm putting it down the ground, throwing it away. I'm not losing the game for him, which is exactly where he's supposed to, especially if he doesn't understand what's going on.
We all know he has no idea what the hell's happening.
Yes. Bless his soul, because I can't believe I'm saying this. The Giants are 6-1.
Wait.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. Continue. You keep going. Sorry.
Yeah,
This will. I'll have it after.
The Giants are 6-1. The Jets are like 5-2. Like, again, I've said it for the last 3 weeks. The world is ending with the way these teams are playing right now. So, but I will say this: I think when football is good in New York, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
that's just me. But go ahead,
It's
Mary.
good
I'm
for
sorry.
you because you work in the stadium, so it's a little bit more it's more people friendly at that point.
It is, and this is the most
nobody throwing drinks on them, getting mad.
No, honestly, the people there, like, since they've been winning, even Jet fans, they've been super pleasant. There haven't been that many fights. I mean, the only one that I saw within the last couple of weeks is just husband and wife just getting mad at each other, and then the poor lady got cuffed out because she decided to shove her husband in front of 8 state troopers. But again, not my prerogative, and they cuffed her and escorted her out. But we rock it out here. Go ahead, Merritt.
So I saw something. The only game this weekend that is between two winning teams is the Giants Seahawks game.
What? And who would have thought those two teams?
Oh my God. Like, I would have you said that these two teams would have been 1-6 at this point, maybe 2-5 and skirt out a win. But nope. Gino's looking like he's the real deal, though they did lose Metcalf, and they don't know for how long.
Yeah,
so. He doesn't. They say he doesn't need surgery, so he'll
right.
Okay.
That's the good thing, but still, you could be out for 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's see. I gotta finish my little snack. So, Kevin, you need to start the next part of the episode.
Yes. All right. While everyone is watching on the YouTube, seeing Merritt finish his snacks. So, guys, is that time? Is the preview for the NCAA basketball? I told Merritt that we needed to just have this as a separate episode because there's going to be a lot to dive into. So, for example, today we have the players that they nominated for the preseason All-Americans. Who they have? We have Drew Timmy from Gonzaga. Timmy or Timmy, whatever you want to call him. We got
I like Timmy.
We got Oscar Shivaway from Kentucky. Armando Bacot from Merritt's UNC Tar Heels.
Let's go, Bacot.
Marcus Sasser from
Indiana.
No, he's from Houston.
From Houston. Sorry, the next guy's
Tracy Jackson Davis from University of Indiana.
Yeah.
So my initial thoughts on these is I notice for all of us West Virginia fans out there, Oscar Shivaway named an All-American, averaging a double-double last year. He came back for his senior season. I don't think, if I can think back to all of Calipari's teams since he was with Kentucky, I don't think he's ever had
senior.
I don't think like a senior that has really been like a key person to their team.
He did, but it was when he really first started.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
Yeah, like it was like the Ron Mercer years, all those other guys.
Was that
Ron Mercer?
Ron
Mercer is from like before Calipari.
Yeah, Mercer.
I think
that was Pitino. I'm sorry, that was
Mercer went to Louisville. I was gonna say
Ron Mercer was at Kentucky, but that was
oh yeah, sorry.
But but I'm just saying that's how far back it is that he's had a guy that's been in any program that the last time he really had like a senior All-American actually was when he was in UMass. Like other than that,
Marcus Camby.
Yeah, Marcus Camby, and that was like every other stop that he's been at. Memphis, same deal. There were a bunch of undergrads and juniors, and
wasn't Mario a junior? Wasn't Chalmers?
Chalmers is Kansas. He never played.
Sorry, my God.
It's been a long day for all of us.
It's been a long week. Good. I'm sorry.
Were you thinking of? Are you thinking of?
God, who's the
Are you thinking of Derrick Rose when he played for him at?
No, I thought he had someone else on. I can't think now. Who
'Cause
cares?
the only tenured person that I could remember Calipari having was when he just inherited Patrick Patterson the first year. He was a junior though. Like considering junior, but was supposed to be a senior, but he wasn't even a star.
But he was. Yes, I'm saying he wasn't even near that status of All American. He just happened to be on the team when Calipari came in.
I don't know. Like looking at this list, I can agree with Baycott and I can agree with Sheboy because both are double machines. Baycott basically, he's coming back with all of UNC. I don't think anyone left the UNC. They're all back.
No,
they're making a championship run.
Yeah, because most of the UNC team was underclassmen with a few upperclassmen mixed in.
Black was the only one that was is coming back for like a 5th or 6th year.
Yeah,
I think, and then everyone else is like this is their 3rd or 4th year.
Right.
I don't really get the hype around Drew Timme or Teme, however you want to call him. I don't get the hype. He's, in my opinion, another Adam Morrison who just is a better rebounder. I don't.
They say he's better fundamentally than most guys that came out of Gonzaga. Some of the guys that came out previously, they weren't. I'm trying to say it. I'm trying to say it to sound like not like sound like a jerk, but
it's fine. Just be a jerk.
They had a bunch of guys that came in. They could score. They can do this. They could do that. But they weren't like fundamentally sound. Like even Jalen Shrugs when he left, he was fundamentally sound to a certain point, and that was like his knock when he went into the draft. He said, "Oh, well, his upside was he was a great decision maker. He was this, who he's that, but he didn't have that, which was fundamentally some of the things you need to have to be a true point guard or a true guard in the league."
Yeah.
So that's why he went where he went. And they saying that Timme is supposed to be the fundamentally sound guy. That's why, like as a freshman, they were like, "Oh, we're going to run everything through you," and all this other stuff because they thought he was like a fundamentally sound guy. He played everything the right way. He just needed some seasoning because he didn't, he wasn't. This was Baycock was a junior, was a junior or a sophomore, something like that. But when he played him the one game and Baycock was taking him, but because he wasn't the seasoned guy, he was a freshman. He was taking advantage of. So
I don't know. I also don't jump on the Gonzaga hype train because they've always had really good teams and they've never done anything. They make it to the final and then they fall apart.
I tell you, it's the conference that they're playing.
As much as 100%.
Is the conference they're playing.
Wait, they play in the mountain, the WAC?
The WAC.
The Western.
Down to the WAC.
Athletic.
No, it's the West Coast something. West Coast Conference. It's not the WAC anymore. It's West Coast Conference, something like that.
Yeah, you're right. Yes. But I think they changed the name.
Their biggest rival is St. Mary's, and they're at best normally a ranked at a number 10 in the tournament.
St. Mary's is a gutsy team, but they're always undersized.
No, they never have a big guy.
They never have any size. Like the one year that they actually had the guy. They actually had size for the guy. They had size. The guy couldn't move. He was slow. He would.
Yeah, I remember there was a big guy.
Yeah, he was like when he got to the tournament, you knew he was going to get burnt because they were ready to go to a small lineup. He'd get beat. Done. They would get screwed over.
And then you've got, I don't know these other two. I don't know Marcus Cesar or Tracy Jackson Davis, mainly because I think Marcus you said he was at Houston, Kevin?
Yeah.
He's one of the big, like their number 1 returner from last year to get that run. But also, I won't lie, I won't pay attention to Indiana because they haven't been relevant in what seems like a decade.
You know
and
the
that's
reason
sad.
Why, yeah.
It's sad because Indiana is a powerhouse basketball program, and that you'd expect them to.
You know why they really put those names on that list, and I that's why like every year like I take a glimpse at that stuff, and that just kind of like
Yeah.
Because those guys that they talk about, when they talk, this is when they talk to like GMs and everybody else. Oh, this guy is going to be the great next guy to come out. This guy is going to be the next guy to be the next guy, something like that, something like that. And that's why you always see it's a preseason on. That's why they have the preseason. They got that final list. That preseason is what everybody thinks because they saw them. They finished off, they finished off strong last year or something like that. Then they go do some pre-camp drafts. They go to some camps, do some pre-camp drafts, and they go, oh, but he got a way better. He grew 6 inches. He got so much better than what he did last year. Then when he goes to go play during the season, he'll have a lull. He'll start out strong, have a lull.
Yeah.
Then when it comes tournament time, he'll
Play
get
well.
knocked out. Yeah, he'll play well for like a game and a half, maybe 2 games, and he'll get knocked out. It's very rare that you get a guy that raises his stock and he loses in the second or third round. Very rare.
I agree. I just don't understand. I think the only two that truly make sense to me is Oscar and Baycott. Those two, in my mind, those two are going to go up. That could be your final game at the end of the year. But and we'll talk about it. We'll make our predictions. We'll write it down, and we'll see who's right at the end of the day for fun. But I think, I agree. The All-American poll that comes out, it's fun. It gives us, us podcasters and the people in the media something to digest and talk about as we wait for college basketball season. One thing, I don't know if you guys saw this today. Do you guys know Manhattan College?
Yes.
The Jaspers?
Yeah.
They let their coach go 2 weeks before the start of the season. Coach Mazzioli is gone.
Yeah. There was like a thing about him a couple years back. I don't know if you guys remember, where he tried to go be the coach of
the Seminoles, Florida State.
No, not them. It was the USF, South Florida.
Oh, yes, the Golden Knights.
They're green and white. I don't know who cares whoever the hell their mascot is.
They're Bulls.
Yes, the Bulls. So I guess he lied to them that he got his undergrad degree from Kentucky.
I remember that guy.
And they rescinded his offer. And then he ended up coaching back at Manhattan.
I have a story that I cannot divulge on air. I will share with you guys afterwards.
Okay.
But I know more about that than you.
Fun times.
Yes. I think it's a fantastic move. I don't like this. I don't care for him. I met him once and I just didn't care for him. So they did well the first couple of years that he was there. But they never got above 500 after 2014 or 2015. Never.
Although I gotta say though, I just from like watching coaches and like watching I'm going to say the last 7 years, last 7, 8 years. I don't think that deal with like graduating from a college or being an undergrad should ever be used as a tool to say whether or not
it was that he lied about it.
No. I that part I understand. I'm just saying.
No, I agree.
Like I don't think that, because there's a lot of people that haven't finished their careers, have went on to do great jobs in coaching, have played overseas, stuff like that, and they went and maybe got like an associate's, or maybe they did 2 years and they decided they want to go over to wherever and play, or found a love to coach and been loving it ever since.
We're in that age now where a degree is not always needed.
Yeah,
put it at that. Like you don't need a degree,
right?
If you have the working experience, majority of companies and universities,
right,
will probably turn around and give you a job as long as you have that opportunity to showcase it.
Right.
Real quick before we leave the All-Americans, just some little facts for us on the 2 other gentlemen. So the gentleman from Houston, Sasser, key guy for the Houston Cougars since the Phi Slama Jama days. He was really good last year, but he broke a bone in his left foot, so he was out the rest of the year.
Oh,
so I look at it's almost like a redemption year for him. And then Jackson Davis, Shout out to his numbers. He averaged 18 points and 8 rebounds for the Hoosiers last year.
He's like a shooting guard, isn't he?
He is a 6'9" forward. And unfortunately, they lost to those St. Mary's from last year in the first round, which I'm not gonna lie, totally call that upset too. But now Jackson Davis, they're looking at him helping them win the Big Ten this year, which would be super interesting.
That is a uphill battle.
Yeah, I remember watching him play. He was like I said, he was a decent guy, but you could tell you could just tell some of these guys, yes, they'll make it to the league or they'll make it past college, but they are, for lack of better word, they are glorified role players. They're just
give me the money. I'll sit on the bench gladly. I don't care.
I agree. I'd be the first person. I'd be the first person to do that. But
I'd be right behind you in line, ready to sign up.
I'd be right with you. But for the crux of this conversation, that's why I go, like I said, once they do that preseason All-American stuff, I just stop, because half of those guys are going to be guys that they're the 7th or 8th guy on the bench now, unless they really put the work in to get to the next level.
Let's put it this way, and we'll slide into the next topic, the top 25.
Right.
Indiana's ranked 13. Houston's ranked number 3 in the country.
Oh yeah. 3.
Gonzaga's at 2. Kentucky's at 4. UNC is number 1. But
and the defending champs didn't even get a first place vote.
No, but they lost a lot. Bill Self lost a lot.
Yeah, he lost a lot.
And they're at
he lost 2 guards in the center. 2 guards in the center. And and a small forward.
The small forward was the one that was the biggest hit, because he was lights out in that second half against UNC. But let's go through a quick rundown. Your top 25 in 1 through 25. UNC, Gonzaga, Houston, Kentucky, Kansas, Baylor, Duke, UCLA, Creighton, Arkansas, Tennessee, Texas, Indiana, TCU, Auburn. Bruce Pearl's still down in Auburn, right? Or did he? Okay, I know he was canned for a little bit and couldn't do something.
No, when he was at
Tennessee, but he also got in trouble in Auburn. So I thought they were on a ban.
No.
Villanova, Arizona, U of A, San Diego State, Alabama, which I never think Alabama is a good basketball school, but they have turned it around. Oregon, Michigan, the Fighting Illini, Dayton, and Texas Tech are your top 25.
You forgot University of Virginia.
I said U of A.
Yes, U of A, and then Virginia. U of A is Arizona. Isn't U of A?
He said
sorry, I said UVA. Sorry, yeah, you're right.
Thank you, Cyrus, for backing me up on that.
Shut up! It's been a long week.
Another Instagrammable clip.
I'm going to beat you senseless, sir. So what are you guys' thoughts? I don't disagree with the top 5 at all.
As of right now, I don't necessarily have a problem with them.
Yeah, you guys are frozen. There we go. Yeah, I'm frozen now. I don't know what's going on. I just always wonder, I always read it and I'm going, oh, how many if you look at that schools right outside the top 25 at A&M, UConn, Miami, Purdue, St. Louis, Michigan State, and Florida State. And then all of a sudden you drop a little bit further, you're like Wyoming. I'm like, huh? They're good at sports?
They were in the tournament last year.
Yeah, they were.
I mean,
yeah.
We know the thing, the outside 25, if you think about it, it's the schedule and where they play at. Mm-hmm. That's all because they have talented teams, and that's why the mid majors always wind up creeping in that top 25, that lower half. So if you get say like the Shockers, Wichita State, Wichita State was making that.
Wichita
Wichita
State.
State was making that big run the last couple of years, right?
Or who's the team from Chicago?
Loyola.
No,
Oh
no,
yeah,
no.
yeah, Loyola Marymount, right?
Yeah, no, it was Loyola. It's not Loyola Marymount. It's Loyola.
No, it was somebody else with the nun.
With
Yeah,
Sister Jean.
Loyola.
Was that Loyola?
Yeah.
It's not Loyola Marymount.
Loyola's a different
Hold
one.
on.
No,
Loyola Marymount is like in California or something. Pretty sure it is.
Okay, you're definitely right about that. It's not Marymount. You're correct, Cyrus. Loyola, Chicago.
I think it's Loyola Chicago.
It is just Loyola Chicago. The Ramblers of Loyola Chicago.
Okay, so yeah.
Yes, thank you for the correction, Cyrus.
Sorry, I'm not trying.
No.
Thank you for proving us that we don't know anything. Thank you.
Hey, listen, that's
doing a good job at it.
So for me, when I look at this top 25, things that's
Kevin. Oh no.
Like Michigan. Oh,
Kevin,
no.
start again because you froze on my end. Sorry.
How about now?
You're good.
Everybody hear me?
You're good. Go.
Okay, so I think I see, looking at this top 25, I feel like a team like Michigan can make its run to move up this board. I look at from the outside, a team like UConn. UConn always is a strong team. Maybe I'm a little bit biased because I'm a UConn fan as well. You know, I can definitely see them making their ways up the rankings. UCLA, they're bringing back a solid squad. Yeah. Duke is a young team, first year under John Shire, and that's I feel like that top four is going to be pretty solidified for a while. Maybe the Blue Bloods will sneak in, but I hate to say it, but I feel like that your Tar Heels, Merritt, might have that number one spot on lock unless they do it to themselves.
Yeah, I think that's the only way. Cyrus, you're unmuted.
Yeah, I know. I had to tell my wife to take my car because she can't find her car keys.
Oh, okay. No, I agree. I guess like I always get more surprised when I see the SEC schools ranked for some reason.
Merritt is frozen.
Well, now you're my internet's unstable. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Bleep that. Bleep that part out, Andrew. I always just find it weird when I see the SEC schools because like you never think of them good at basketball. You always think of them good at football. But like I know Auburn's good. They've made some really good runs in the past couple of years. Arkansas is decent. They prove it. I always just love that they throw Creighton so high every single year on this list. And every single year, Creighton does the fall and they just tumble backwards at some point in the year.
But again, that also speaks to because SEC schools, Big 12, SEC, and what's the other one that's out there?
The Pac-12?
No, some other
Mountain West.
Mountain West or the Big 10. Or the Big 10, you got the Big 12, the Big 10, Mountain West, and SEC. They all beat up on each other. Those schools beat up because they play each other constantly. Even through even a little like the side tournaments and stuff, they got 5 schools that are like there are 3 or 4 schools that are always in there, so they're always beating up on each other. The ACC used to be like that, but then the ACC started doing like the Big 10 ACC challenge. You have a couple ACC teams go out to Maui to do a Maui thing, not so much since COVID, but they used to go out towards Maui to Maui Classic.
Invitational.
Yeah,
the
Maui
enjoyed
Invitational.
That one. Have they not brought that back yet?
They have, but what they've been doing is they've been doing it like closer to home. They still call it the Maui Invitational, but they don't want anybody flying out that far.
They need to figure that out because I think that's one of my favorite tournaments that I enjoyed during Thanksgiving because they always do those basketball tournaments during that time frame. You would have the Maui Invitational, the Disney Worldwide Sports tournament that they do at Thanksgiving,
the Bermuda one.
Yep, there's the one in the Bahamas at Battle for Atlantis.
Yeah,
and The two that I'm very intrigued by, you have the PK 40 Invitational and the PK Legacy Invitational happening over in Oregon.
We're part of the Legacy one.
We are part of the Legacy one. Shout out to our Mountaineers out here.
Playing Purdue at 10 o'clock at night. I'm not watching that game.
I will. If you know what, honestly, the only way I'd probably watch that game is if I happen to be working late and I do one of my late night gym sessions. That could be one of the things that I'll watch while I'm at the gym.
I was just looking at the West Virginia basketball schedule and I was like, oh, they're playing Stony Brook, but their Stony Brook is going to West Virginia. I'm like, that'd been awesome because Stony Brook's 20 minutes from me.
And I would have driven up to go see that.
That's like
so easy.
Hands down, you have to do that. I'm gonna skip this next one, and I want to the next two topics we have here, just because I really want to have this conversation because I think it leads perfectly into it.
Okay.
It could be a top 25 team, it could be a non-top 25 team.
Mm-hmm.
In your opinion, what is a team that you need to keep an eye out for? Just starting today, who's your team that could make a potential run or make people kind of open their eyes? And I'm going to write it down. We're just going to have it noted.
I will start because we are, let's be real, we are a West Virginia WVU podcast. It would be remiss of us to not talk about our Mountaineers because
I am very
let's be real. We can be a team that could end up 28-10, make a run to the Sweet 16 or battle for the Elite Eight, or
we could be 10-20,
16-17, and
lose everything
18 in a row and fight to try and get to the bottom seed of the NIT or for the CBA. So honestly, I'm definitely excited for them. I really, really hope that they can make a run with their new overly revamped roster. They got a lot of good guys. A lot of the people in there say that this team could be special.
Mm-hmm.
But I am also realistic.
Who's the kid from South Carolina?
Eric Stevenson.
I've read that Huggins said he's become the leader.
Yeah. Because he's also played for 4 other Division I schools
in 4 years.
In 4 years, which is hell of impressive. So I think he's gonna do a great job. I think it's gonna in my opinion, the two keys are gonna be how are big men going to perform, and can we make the shots when we need to?
Yeah, I agree. I would say West Virginia because it's our alma mater, but I don't want to be on the same boat. I want to pick somebody different. A team that I honestly love that's not UNC or West Virginia is Louisville. I think, they've gotten themselves out of the foot of all the stuff that has happened in the past with them. They made a really decent run last year near the end of the year in the ACC tournament. They did pretty well, the Big East tournament, ACC rather. They did very well. I think they're going to be a surprise team that a Duke, a UNC, a UV, a Virginia, or somebody that's a higher up team is going to slip up over. They've always been good at 3-point shooting, and they always have that one pesky little point guard that's just going to be nipping at your heels. It's literally 3-point shooting, pesky little point guard, and the 3-point shooters are typically these white guys that's all they do is just throw up threes and they go in. So I think Louisville makes a potential run. So that'll be my pick since I'm not going to be picking with Kevin. So
may I also make a non-homer pick also, but I'll let Cyrus go first.
Yes.
So I was gonna. I honestly, I'm looking at this, and there is 4 or 5 teams that I know that are going to theoretically cause a issue, right? But honestly, I'm thinking the one team you probably need to keep your eye on this year, just because I think they're going to make a little bit of a push. It's probably going to be. It's probably going to be. It's probably going to be Wake Forest.
Ooh, I like that pick.
Okay.
Because they've been dormant for the last couple years. They got rid of Danny Manning as a coach. They made sort of a run last year to try to make the tournament. I don't know if they did or didn't. I don't remember particularly.
I don't think they did.
I think they were on a bubble.
Yeah,
I think they were on a bubble.
I think they were the first 4 out or something
like that. Yeah. So I think they're going to. I think they're. I mean, listen, I'm not thinking them to go like all the way, but I'm thinking it's a team you have to watch. I mean, because if you think about all the teams in the nation, there's a lot of them. There's no other team that really actually, again, not without looking at like really pins and needles, looking at everything. Wake was the one team that kind of made it. Everybody had to take notice. They were making somewhat of a push. So I think Wake Forest will probably be somebody to look forward to look at. I mean, it's a fairly young team. The coach is just in the second or third year. You know, trying to revamp what Danny Manning did. So
good luck. It's a lot to undo and fix.
It was.
Kevin, who's your non-homer pick?
My non-West Virginia pick, and this one is super interesting. They've been on the come up for the last couple years. I'm gonna go with the local team in my area, and that's gonna be Rutgers.
They did get a top 25 vote.
Yeah, they got 4 votes for the AP 25 votes. When I was looking for when you asked this question, I was looking at teams, and I saw this, and I was like, Rutgers is finally getting that. A shout out to their coach Steve. I don't know how to say his last name. It starts with a P. I think it's Pickle or a Pickle, but he has got Rutgers to where they're not just saying, "Oh, they're not a Big Ten bottom feeder." They're over there being able to compete with them. I know they had some. I think they got a top 10 win last year against Purdue at home at the.
It was the last second shot, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Ron Harper Jr. made that shot.
Ron Harper Jr. made that shot. Yeah. I know that arena as the Rack, but it's now known as Jersey Mike's Arena.
Wasn't Purdue ranked number 1? Because they won.
Yeah, they were.
They won the weekend before on a buzzer beater. Jumped to number 1, went to Rutgers, and then lost on a buzzer beater.
Yeah. So definitely crazy. So I just really liked how the culture over there at Rutgers has been changing. They're getting a little bit more respect. They're getting some better players, and hopefully they continue this trend on. Yeah, that's what I got.
All right. I like it. All right. So this will be the fun part. I think this will be a good debate on who will win. And we're just going to do the big conferences that we all know and love. I'm not going to go with the mid-level, mid-major schools and stuff just because I don't really honestly don't care too much. It's too hard to dive into all of them.
We would literally just need to.
We would just need to sit here for hours.
We would sit. Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. We would just sit here for hours going around a circle saying probably the same things over and over. But hey, some people might like that. I don't know.
That's true.
So who will win the following conferences? ACC, Pac-12, Big East, the American, and the Big 12.
Did we put in the Big East in there?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
And then the American, the AAC or whatever they're called.
Yeah, they change that every year.
Yeah, no one pays attention to it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's start off. We'll start off with the American. That should be a pretty easy one to say who should win that. I'm going to go with the Cougars from Houston.
I think that's kind of the consensus on my end.
I think so. I think who's Who's got a better team? Maybe Cincinnati can make a
I
random
was getting
run.
ready to say Cincinnati does,
They
but
always have
Cincinnati did get rid of their coach this year though. Past year.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, take that back. No, Louisville. The guy that coached at Louisville also coached at Cincinnati before, right?
Yes.
Okay, then they're right. So the guy at Louisville got kicked out. All right, then I'm fine.
All
Then
right.
I'm fine.
Houston, all the way around. Next
Yeah.
conference merit.
That was easy. Big East.
Ooh. Oh man. I'm just getting the teams up just so like I can make sure I'm getting the right teams. The Big East, there's so many different teams here that can really pull this out. I, in my heart of hearts, really would love the Yukon Huskies to win it, but it's always been going to these like random other teams that are here in the conference. I'm gonna go ahead and say where'd they go? I literally just looked at this damn team. I think I'm gonna go with Creighton and their shooting.
Gonna go stick with Creighton.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do this. So
I was actually going to go with that too.
All right, Cyrus, you and I are on the same page. I feel like they're gonna meet up with like Villanova or like Georgetown and like beat them in like with like a
and Villanova just got a new coach too, and they lost a bunch of guys. So Villanova always puts up a fight, but
always.
But I think it's just a matter of it's new coach, new coach, almost a set of new players, a new team. I think they'll put up a fight. I think they'll be like somewhere close, but I think Creighton, just because a lot of those guys are coming back, that they'll just and honestly, that's probably going to happen to a lot of teams we look at. A lot of teams that come back with a lot of familiar players are probably the ones that are probably going to win. Just because it's really tough now, especially with the way that they do things. It's not like before where you had like a full training camp. Everybody was there like a week before school or a week before school started, and you could sit there and you had your 2-a-days and everything else. You can't do that anymore because of COVID and all the restrictions. So technically, you know, so they may have it where they can only have X numbers in the gym, or they can only have so many hours in the gym or whatever.
Yeah, you can
only
during season you kind of 3 hour long practices and then 1 hour.
Yeah, see, and then
1 hour of lifting.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah, and your preseason is pretty much cut short because of the way their COVID restrictions are. So, I mean, it's going to be tough. Like I said, the guys that have been, when you get a team like UNC is the perfect example. You got 5 guys that are coming back that are going to be in that lineup, right? So it's everybody knows what everybody does, and whether they got better or not, and everybody knows the offense. Not unless Hubert Davis tweaks it to does whatever two they're going to do to him.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to go with Creighton because I don't think their shooting will carry them as far as you guys would do. I'm going to go with one of our old rivals from the Big East. I'm going to go with Georgetown. I've always loved Georgetown because I'm a Jeff Green fan at heart. So I just remember watching him play at Georgetown and it was amazing. Him and Roy were great together, that combination. So
shout out to Roy Hibbert.
I think Georgetown, after a few really tough years, is going to make that rebound. And, Villanova's always going to be a top team in that division.
Right.
But they losing Jay Wright, it opens up, like Kevin said, it opens everything up.
Right.
But I think
that's going to be so strange not seeing him on the sidelines for Villanova. It's like, oh man.
Yeah.
I know. Now let's go to the Pac-12. We're going to save the best 3 for last. Don't worry. The Pac-12. Who do you guys think?
Pac-12. Oh my. Let me look at my list again. Pac-12.
I'll be honest with you. At this point, I'm looking at it, and it's between Oregon and probably Arizona. California may come in there, but it's probably. And the only reason I can't.
You don't think UCLA can do it?
The only reason I say, I want to say them, but then every time I go say them, like last couple of years when I thought UCLA was like really that team, they just underperformed. So again, I don't know if it's just circumstance or maybe because some of the players they had some of the good players, like the player that they had that the two players that they have that were really good players, the two guards that they have, one they're both coming back, but the one played like crap because he didn't have the three other guys around him that he had the year before.
Yeah, Zhang, or whatever his name was.
Yeah. So it wasn't that he was horrible. It just he didn't play the same because everybody geared on him. The three other guys he had the year before were guys that were there, so you had to play. You at least had to, just say, okay, well, we got to play them.
Yeah.
And now you don't have to. You didn't have to play them. You just worry about him and the small guard. Now it's just him and the small guard, and
again, they don't have anything. Like I know they added a little bit this year, but I'll agree with that.
Yeah, they don't really have enough. So that's what I'm thinking. Like at this point, it's probably going to be between Oregon, Arizona, and you can pick one out of the other. UCLA may be in there. USA always has a decent team every year, but I'm going to say Oregon.
Okay, I was going to say, Cyrus, who are you picking?
I'm going to say Oregon. I'm going to say Oregon. I'm going to say Oregon. I like the colors and the team, and
I'm all with it. That's my pick, and
Oregon.
I worked at an ASU years ago, and they were really good. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're going to get up that level again for a while. Oregon, they could have made the Final Four easily last year, besides just like a couple of hiccups here and there. So I'm with Cyrus on this one.
I mean, Oregon, honestly, if you think about Oregon in the last couple of years, their recruiting has been excellent. They've made sure they got, if they haven't gotten the top 5 talent, they've made sure they got solid players to come in to buy into the program. Get the guy that plays for Boston is the perfect example. Pritchard's a perfect example. He was never highly recruited.
No.
He just worked hard enough. He just bought in, worked hard, and now he has a spot playing in the league. I mean,
he doesn't really have a spot right now. He's not really in this rotation yet.
Well,
that's okay.
But he did. He did when yeah.
Yeah. All right, Kevin, who do you think?
I am going to respectfully disagree. I am gonna go. I think UCLA will take the title one more time with this group, and then it'll be passed on to somebody else.
Okay. I can't fault you because they are a very, very good team. They're highly ranked.
And like Cyrus said, the teams that we talk about are going to be those teams that have a bunch of people coming back. And I believe UCLA is one of those teams. That's why they're ranked so goddamn high.
Right.
So I just think this will probably be the year that they'll cap it off with that Pac-12 championship, do what they do, and then I think you'll get a new Pac-12 champion next year.
Sounds about right. But I still think Oregon is just they always they're that talented team that always finds a way to win.
All right, so go to the Big Ten. Now we all know this is one of the better conferences for college basketball and football, but these guys fight, and depending on the year, could be the toughest conference to play in. So, what's your thoughts? I have my thought, but I want to hear you guys first.
Cyrus, you first, sir.
I'm going to say Michigan State.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Here's the weirdest reason why. Every other year,
Tom Izzo.
Every other year, Tom Izzo goes to this thing where he loses one year, comes back the next year. For some reason, he played phenomenal basketball. He gets in the last 2 years. Well, the year before that, it wasn't. I don't think it was his fault. It was just bad timing or whatever. But last year, it was just horrible. They were just bad.
It was unwatchable
It
basketball.
was bad. And every year that next year, he finds a way to turn that thing around, and you just go, "Damn, how?" you just, and I don't really see anybody else in there. Michigan, I think Juwan Howard does a decent job, but with all those guys leaving that he had, I don't. Not unless he not recruiting class coming in, it's not beating anybody in that. Like I said, Big Ten is one of those conferences everybody beats up on everybody. So I mean, not unless you got some studs that are coming in, you're just relegated to being like in the middle of the pack, just like everybody else.
All right, Kevin, what's your thought?
My goodness.
Because Cyrus just dropped like a huge bomb on us. So
that is a very huge bomb. So I'm looking around and I was trying to like just double check to see what like postseason has been saying. A lot of people keep saying that it's going to be, man, Cyrus, Michigan State is not even on the screen that I have to scroll so far down. But, he made an interesting point with Tom Izzo. I don't know if this is the year where he does that again. Let me go with a team we haven't talked about. Let's go with the Fighting Illini.
Okay.
Illinois. I know they've had a disappointing like end to their postseason runs. They don't have that big guy in the middle. I think his name was like Kofi something. I forgot his like last name.
Yeah, he went in the draft this year.
He went to the draft this year.
Yeah.
So unfortunate that he left, but I know they had that big presence there.
They also had the freshman that stayed, I think, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
and he was what? A point guard or shooting guard for them?
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I don't know why. I just feel like they're just setting me up again. Illini will win the conference, and then you just upset me when I set my brackets together.
I'm gonna go with Illinois, not Illinois. Sorry, Indiana. Okay. I think this is finally the year where we see Indiana finally come back to the prevalence of college basketball. They've been in the doghouse for, it feels like forever. But I do think this is that year where they do make that run. Now, do I think they win anything besides this? I don't know. That can be discussed later. But they win the Big 12, the Big 10. Next, Kevin, I'm going to have to start it with this one just because the next after this is pretty much the best conference right now in college basketball, in my opinion, and probably Cyrus's. But the Big 12, who do you got?
Wow, Big 12. I'm not gonna lie. I know why you guys like ACC because of those teams that you rep. But for some reason,
I love the Big 12.
When you look back at the Big 12, there's 10 teams and always 7 out of 8 teams make it every year. Right now,
6 out of the 10 teams are ranked.
6.
So
and you know that 2 more can pop in there.
Oh yeah, easily. If West Virginia starts playing really well, they can get up there. Oklahoma, Oklahoma State.
Yep.
I'm going to say no to Kansas State because they've just been god awful for the past 6 years. So Kansas State probably won't do that well, but hey, they could surprise us. Kevin, I'm going to throw this one at you first. Who do you think?
Big 12 to win the Big 12. I mean, there's lots of feelings that I would love to say, certain teams, but I think right now, if I'm picking right now where we're at today, I like the Kansas Jayhawks still. They say you can't top the champion until you top the champion. And Kansas...
I don't think Cyrus agrees with you.
I mean, Cyrus can disagree all he wants, but at the same time...
That's what we do on this podcast.
At the same time, Kansas, blue blood program, I just feel that they are just gonna find a way to make it happen, and for my heart to just be like, again.
That's true. That's the worst feeling.
It's just it happens. They didn't win it. They didn't win it last year. So every time when we don't think they're gonna win it, they come back and win it again. So Cyrus, your choice.
I think Baylor. I think Baylor's going to come out of here.
That was my second choice. I will say that though. But on the edge of
again, this is one of these conferences that they beat up on each other. So I mean, the only reason that Baylor and Kansas walk out of it is because Baylor and Kansas always has some of the top players in the league. Yeah. Now maybe that might not be the case this year for Kansas, but I mean, that's been like that the last couple of years. Yeah. That's why they've been in the final. That's literally why those two teams have been in the Final Four the last 5 of the 6 years, like or the Elite Eight or the Final Four. Like they have guys that just are better. They just get guys that are better.
Well, Baylor didn't do that for a while, but Kansas has always been doing that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to throw a dark horse into this one. Their mascot actually is riding a dark horse. I'm going to go with Texas Tech. Oh. I love the Red Raiders. Like the past few years, they made that deep run. They lost their coach. He went to Texas. Then he got his ass spanked when he went back to Texas. When Texas Tech went to Texas, and Texas went to Texas Tech. I think that this Texas Tech team is legit. They're ranked in the top 25. That's not a thing to bat your eye at. I think they are actually going to be a very good team. And though Baylor and Kansas are probably still a tier above where they are, we all know Kansas messes up. Some point in the year, they mess up and they lose 2-3 games that they shouldn't.
Yeah, they do that. Yeah.
Baylor, though they are, completely sound when it comes to the ball movement, to the rhythm of the game, they make boneheaded mistakes. That's how they lost the UNC game in the tournament. They boneheaded mistakes and turnovers. I love Scott Drew. I don't think he's going to, you can fix it as much as you can, but I don't think so. I think Texas Tech takes the Big 12.
And that could very well be the case. It's just tough to.
Oh,
it's tough, especially when you talk about, and that's like one thing. That's the one thing about basketball. It's like funny. Like you can coach talent, you can scheme talent. What you can't do is you can't put talent out there to make great decisions and to play well. Because the three things in basketball that we all have to worry about, right? You always have a bad shoot. You always will have. There's a possibility of having a bad shooting night. A possibility of having some guy just go completely off the rails and you can't stop him. And you have a game where everything's perfectly flawless, offense, defense, and everything. It's a perfect storm, right? In college is really tough to come by that. Very few teams get that. And it's really tough to see. And like Mara said, Kansas team tends to do that. Hopefully Texas doesn't start out like they did the last couple of years where they start off very slowly. They can't start out slow this year, especially with the schedule they got.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
All right. I added another one because I totally spaced on this division. The SEC.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go with Kentucky.
Wow, really? I would never have guessed that. Just never gonna. Just
a John Calipari guy. You have to. I think they can win it, hopefully, but Tennessee's gonna put a fight up there. But I just feel that Kentucky's just gonna make it happen out here.
I don't know, Kev. I don't know.
I mean, my thoughts is that I just feel like if Oscar can continue to play with the double doubles I just feel, and if they could just fix up a couple things, they should be right in the thick of it.
But you know the only problem I have with that. Now I'm going to say Auburn, but you know the only problem I have with that is Calipari consistently has those drops where those guys think that their shit don't stink, and then they go through a lull where it's bad basketball, and then they hope to turn around and make it great basketball. It just the last couple seasons has worked out the way he wants it. So I hope not, because it's a great out. It's always great to have a top 5 coach and team in, because you get to see them how well they do in a tournament. But I just don't see it happening.
I'm going with the Volunteers.
That's a good team too. That's a very good team.
That is a very good shooting and rebounding team. We saw that last year. I think they beat Kentucky. They went toe and toe. Was it Auburn and Tennessee in the SEC championship game?
Yeah, they did. They went toe to toe.
They're ranked at number 11 behind Arkansas and behind Kentucky. I know Arkansas made a really good run. They looked really good, but I like Tennessee. I think, what's happening on the football field with the Tennessee magic that they got going on. I think it might trickle into the basketball season a little bit, but we'll see. All right. So I know Kevin will fight me on this one because it's not the Big 12. Personally, I still think the ACC runs basketball. It has for years.
Still does.
The best teams come from the ACC. Like Baylor, Kansas are great. Big 12 is great. Big 12 competitiveness across the board is probably the best in the country. Competitiveness, because a lot of the teams are almost equal.
Correct.
ACC, it's literally just what 4 teams are going to be great, which are the rest are going to be mediocre. So that's the only reason I think that they're not the best. They're quoted as the best anymore. But
it's because if you think about it, Merritt, you got Duke, UNC, and then UVA.
Tech is usually good. Wake is good.
But if you think about it, though, the reason that there's only 4 teams, and think about it, we've only gotten really 5 teams into the tournament the last couple of years, 5 to 6 teams. The reason is because they never consist. The smaller teams can never sustain anything. Like longevity, they just don't sustain it. So that's why I thought I was so happy to see Wake Forest get rid of Danny Manning and bring somebody in that was going to bring kids in that wanted to compete. Like Danny Manning was trying to get all these top 10 talent guys to come in, and he wasn't getting them. And then what happened was he was getting all the leftovers. Then they were getting the dog snot beat out of them when they couldn't go up against the big boys. I mean, I don't. That doesn't really work. Like, listen, just need to go for guys that listen. If you know you're not going to get a top 5 guy, don't worry about trying to get a top 5 guy. Get the best guy that's available out there, especially in the area he's at. Get the homegrown talent. To get the guy that hustles his butts off, and that you're gonna, the 6'10" guy that hustles his butts off, but he's not really the most talented guy in the world.
Yep.
So,
Cyrus, I'm going to assume that you're going to pick Duke.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, you're picking UNC, so.
How do you know? I might just throw wild horse into the mix.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm just kidding. I'm not doing that.
He is definitely not doing that.
That's stupid.
Sure.
All right, Kevin, who do you think?
Well, my heart wants me to go along with Cyrus and pick those Dookie Blue Devils, but I'm just a little nervous at how they're going to perform this year without Coach K, which we haven't even brought up yet. The fact that this is the first year with no Coach K on the sidelines.
It'll be fine.
I know we'll be fine.
They won't.
I know we'll be fine.
They are going to implode.
No, they won't. No, they're not. We'll do an emergency podcast with all of us letting Mary know that Duke, no, they did not implode.
Or the day that Duke implodes, I'm literally just going to be like, guys, get on the podcast now.
Yeah.
Cyrus, prepare to be humiliated.
All right. So deep down, like I said, I want to pick those Dookie Blue Devils, but on the edge of just being different and maybe just throwing a wild horse out there, I am going to go with the U.
Really?
Ooh.
Remember, they picked up some great transfers in the transfer portal. Shout out to that guy from LifeLock with his money. But I think Miami's been kind of lingering around. They've always had that like solid team that's like can get you through a couple of rounds of the ACC tournament. They make it to the big dance, can maybe get you a round win or two, and then get eventually eliminated. But let's see what I'm curious to see what else they got. So I'm gonna throw out Miami just so I can be a little different.
So I'm gonna go with UNC. I think UNC as the above all favorite, and even though Duke is a good team, I think UNC's talent is much higher this year.
Well, I think this year you guys will definitely be like because of the fact like we talked about,
everyone's back.
Yeah, everyone's back. I mean, he's not really losing anything. You've only gained, if anything else.
Yeah. The one team I think will be interesting to watch is Florida State. And the reason I say that is because Florida State always gets those big, high-flying players. Always. They've always had the tall, athletic centers, and they had one last year. And I watched the UNC game, and UNC looked like dog crap against them. UNC shouldn't have. They lost, and I'm like, you're losing to the Seminoles. They don't have a winning record. They haven't had a winning record in 5 years. What's going on? It's because they play such a strong defensive side of the ball that it's hard for teams to score. And when you have a lengthy center, lengthy power forward, and small forward, makes life difficult. So I would say keep an eye out for the Seminoles as the year progresses. I think that might be a team that could make a decent run, but they don't still not. Make it all the way.
But the only problem you would have is, and it's the thing about the tournament that it really shows. Once you get past those first 2 rounds, you have to be able to put the ball in the basket because if you can't score, it's a wrap. Because once you get up to like the once you get to the Sweet 16, most of those teams can either probably defend, shoot, or score.
Yep.
And there's no way you can get further, not unless either that team's having a bad shooting night or somebody really gets hot. That's the only way. Like those couple of years where they had a couple of guys were just hot. There was nothing you could do to stop them. You could put 2 guys on him. He's still finding a way to get to the bucket, make a basket. I mean, I remember that one year and I know it's farce to say, but I said farce on the podcast. Steph Curry, Mr. Steph Curry. Remember when he went on that tear? That team could defend, and he got hot. The team could score itself, right? But he just got hot. There was no stopping him. They put 2 guys on him. They did all kinds of. They blitzed them. They blitzed them on the PNRs. They made sure they switched on the dribble handoffs. They on the down screens and all the picks. They made sure that there was at least 2 guys around him. He was just scorching them. And once he ran into that juggernaut that had the one guy that was hot and everything else, everything fell through. So then they didn't finish going. But that's what happens in the tournament. If you get hot or if you have those other things, it works out for you.
Yep. All right. So Cyrus, that brings us to the last couple of questions we got for this. All right. What is your current top 25 team that does not make the tournament?
Oh.
Was that? Hold on a second.
Like the current, like the preseason when they came out?
Yeah, the preseason one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question.
I know. I come up with some good ones every now and then. Kevin, wake up.
I'm looking at the screen.
You did this.
And I'm also looking at wrestling on the screen right now.
All right,
too.
All right, Charles Barkley.
Okay.
If you're looking like
Kevin
if you saw me one of these, this is me looking at my phone that is right here with AEW on.
I don't know how Kevin puts up with me. I'm such a jackass.
It's easy because I'll just post those clips on Instagram and tag you.
Just FYI, he had to deal with me. He had to deal with me at work. I am just the same way.
That's true. That's true.
I am just the same way at work.
That's true. All right, I think I found one.
All right, who is it, Kevin?
I'm gonna go with the Roll Tide of Alabama. I don't know why. I'm just shooting in the dark, but I just feel like that could just be a team that maybe they just lost a couple close ones. They maybe got an early exit of the SEC tournament, and then fortunately they ended up on the wrong end, going into being a top seed in the NIT.
I say Arizona.
Oh, that's a bold pick.
That's a bold one.
The reason I say that is because they play in the Pac, they play in Pac-12. They always play these preseason tournaments where either they get beat up or they shine. So if they get beat up during those preseason tournaments and they go into your regular season getting beat up, right? If you drop out of that top 25, I can almost guarantee you that's almost an omen that they're probably not getting into the tournament. Or they'll be like they were a couple years ago, the last four in or whatever, the first four, whatever that last four out. Yeah. Sitting on the bubble, lose a game that they shouldn't lose in the Pac-10 tournament. Right out.
I'm gonna go with Dayton.
I can see that.
I love Dayton Flyers. Always a fun story. They're always a good team to watch, but
shout out to the A10. Yeah,
they are the top. They're top number 24 or number 25, depending on what poll you look at. They don't come from a very strong conference, really. Can they surprise us and say maybe they make a run? Yeah, they can. But in my mind, they are 1-2 loss team where it's a big loss or a slip up loss that the board, the voters and all that fun stuff go, no, they won't make it.
And especially in the A10, with A10 being the way it is, they really should win out at that point. And if they don't win out the way they should, I could see them. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that.
All right, now here's the best question of the night: who wins it all?
You already know what I'm saying.
Duke is not winning it all. Stop it.
It's neither is UNC.
Oh, yes, they are.
See, there you go. All right, then.
Oh my God.
Hey, listen, Mary, you're my boy. I love you, but yeah, it's going to happen, sir.
You got all right. So Cyrus is going with Duke.
Okay.
I think that is just no, I don't think so. But that's not being a UNC fan. I just don't think Duke has the team to make it that far this year. I think they're an Elite Eight team. I think that's just the best that they can get, and maybe make a surprise.
I think, and that's what I'm saying. I think one of their players are going to get hot during the tournament. They're a bunch of young athletic guys that in the tournament, if you can get hot and they're young and athletic, because now they're young and athletic across the board. And now, not that I'm like poo-pooing Coach K, but you got a younger coach who can vibe with them and understand what it is that they want to do.
Get ready. Our most
offense. What was that?
Sorry, I was just doing some research for I answer my question, and a video just like popped up out of nowhere. We're live.
But yeah, I think that they have John Shire is going to come in and give them a new set of a new voice to listen to, a younger voice, and then I think they got 1 through 11 to 12 are all athletic and raw guys, and then they got a couple of guys that are like Not that Jeremy Roach isn't great; he's a decent player, but Jeremy Roach still is a proven point guard. So I can see him making some noise during the tournament to help the team out. But if you get one of those young recruits to get a little bit hot, I can see them making a run. I mean, especially to the now they should win it all. But I mean, if they don't, I wouldn't be surprised. Like you said, Mara said, if they stop at the Elite Eight or Final Four and lost out.
I think they're an Elite Eight team. I think they're a good team. Honestly, Duke is always good. There's never a year where Duke is horrible. But I don't think it's their year. All right, Kevin, who you got?
This is so hard. It's just like I'm going by.
And we're going to remember what we talked about last week. Whoever loses has to host and give food to the others. So same idea.
Oh my god.
Or we'll meet up and whoever loses pays for lunch.
Oh my gosh. Goodness gracious.
Kevin's like,
I have
oh my
a
god,
feeling
oh my god,
it's
oh
gonna
my
be.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Would I love to go with the Duke Blue Devils? Sure. I don't know if you know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb.
He's gonna go with Kentucky.
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
no, we're not. We're gonna go.
We're not? No, okay. Prove us wrong.
Phi Slamma Jamma.
Oh, okay.
Houston, we have a problem because the Cougars are gonna be rocking out for the big dance. What do you want? I don't know what's so funny.
I love you, Kev. I love you, man.
I know it's the name of the team, but
the
it's
extra
how
emphasis on Cougars?
Yeah, it was the extra emphasis on the Cougars. Oh my god. Houston, we have a problem. The Cougars are coming out. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
This is
a PG show.
There's gonna be another Instagrammable clip for the podcast. Yes, gotta love it. But I'm just to be, because I already know where Merritt's going. I knew where Cyrus is going. I wanted to have a realistic pick. I went through the up and down the damn preseason poll. I even typed in Google who was winning the NCAA tournament this year. They gave me this whole soliloquy of nothing. So I just went with my gut. I didn't want to be a homer and pick Kentucky because you guys knew I would have picked Kentucky right after. But we're gonna go with Houston.
Okay.
Well, hey, Houston.
I'll give it to you. I'm going to UNC. I think they're the most complete team. Straight up, I think they're honestly the most complete team in the country. We've discussed it.
You know what I would like to see, though, Merritt? I would like to see UNC Duke final for once.
That would be amazing.
For once.
If that happens, you guys need to do a watch along for the We're Out Here portion and just vlog you guys talking trash to each other.
Oh my god, that would just be so
much
bad.
Fun. That's so much fun.
The ridiculous amount of shit talking that would be going on.
Oh, yes.
It wouldn't even be funny. I think we both might kill each other by that point. But hey,
no, you would.
It's worth it, right? At the end of the day.
Yes, it is.
No hard feelings. But like I said, complete team. Bring back their starting five. We brought in some really good recruits. So I think UNC makes that Final Four run. They make the championship run, and they avenge what should have happened last year. I was yelling so much at that screen. Okay, that's all we got. That's all we have. Before we jump into the final notes, I don't think we missed anything, Kevin, did we?
Yes, we did miss something.
Ooh, okay, sorry.
So you talked about Robert Quinn crying. I just got this little thing that came up on my Google, and it's of TMZ. It is actually, so the crying was about, yes, the Robert Quinn trade.
Okay.
But it was actually Roquan Smith crying about it.
Okay.
Yeah, so the topic was correct, but it was actually Roquan Smith crying about it. And yes, he did indeed cut the news conference short after he found out in the moment.
Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me he probably sitting there going, "Oh my God, I wish it was me. Oh my God."
Oh, he's definitely doing that
my
because
God.
you know what? He did not want to come back. All right. Well, that's good to know. Thank you for clarifying that, Kevin. Should we do trivia first, or do you want to do the announcements of the things that we're going to be doing?
Trivia first, and then we'll end it off with our announcements.
Which women's college basketball standout was the first woman to win consecutive Final Four MVP honors?
Oh, man.
Kevin, if you don't get this, I'm going to be so mad at you.
So I feel like, so that's funny because I saw you wrote this in the other day, and I'm like, this can't be a trick question. I wanted to go Diana Taurasi.
No.
Say the question again. I just want to make sure.
Which woman's college basketball standout was the first woman to win consecutive Final Four MVP honors?
I still feel like it's got to be somebody from UConn. No, it's not a UConn.
No,
it's Tennessee.
Would have had to be Kent. No,
you guys are thinking too soon. Like, Kevin, you're kind of in the right boat with time frame, but still even earlier than that.
Wow.
Actually, much earlier than that. Sorry, I'm thinking much earlier. I can't give you the hint because it would just give it away.
Easy. All right, don't give us the hint. Oh man. So it is before the answer that I gave you.
Yes. When would Taurasi was what, late 90s?
She was early 2000.
Yeah, earlier than that.
I would have to think it'd have to be like either like
I can't think of her name. She was a center for UConn.
No.
Rebecca. No, it's not Rebecca Lobo.
Lobo?
No.
Oh.
Or like Nakisha Sales. Or wait.
No, we said beforehand, so it wasn't. It wasn't.
Is it Shamik Holdskaw?
No.
He says he's out from Tennessee. Shamik Holdskaw with Tennessee. Yeah, I know women's basketball too, so don't. I'm weird like that.
Think a little bit west.
West.
Shell Swoops.
First name's right.
Shell Cooper.
Nope.
Oh my God. Damn it. Is it Cheryl Ford?
No. Everyone hated him. Jordan hated this player.
Hated her?
Jordan hated her brother.
Oh, Shell Miller.
Yes.
Yes, because she was. Oh, yeah. Because everybody thought that she was.
Cheryl Miller is like super like 80s.
I kept saying it was earlier and earlier.
Yeah. He did say that.
All right. I will. All right. I'll give that. That's good. I like
that was
Cheryl
a good
Miller.
one. That was a good one. That made me think. That made me think.
When I
That's
saw
the first one that Cyrus got wrong.
Consecutively, he kept throwing names out there, and I'm like, no.
You know why?
It was like two Kevins doing trivia. It was great.
You know why it threw me off? Because it was before like the women's tournament was really big.
Yeah.
So like if you didn't really know who she was, you didn't really think about her. That's why it threw me off.
Very true.
All right. So Kevin mentioned at the beginning of the podcast that we are doing a lot more of the We Out Here segments. So I have mine coming up in 2 weeks
I'm so excited for you.
I am pumped. I hate being in front of the camera, so it's going to be hysterically bad.
Is Ashley going to film for you?
No, I'm going to make sure her ass is in the video. What the hell are you talking about?
Good call.
She's going to be, I'll be sending pictures. I'll be putting pictures up there. She's going to be in that. And then a month after, like 3 or 4 weeks after that, Kevin and I are in Brooklyn for the Nets Celtics game. So if you're all in the area, you want to say hi, if you listen to us, know who we are, cool. Come on by. We're going to be chilling in the Barclays Center with some people watching the Celtics and Nets play. That following weekend, I'm going to the big tournament in Madison Square Garden with UNC, UCLA, Kentucky, and I can't remember the.
You said the other day. I can't remember who it was.
I know. I can't remember who the other team. Since now, who cares who the other team is?
Yeah.
The only ones that matter are the ones that we already listed. And then Kevin and I thought about it last week. How would we go to a hockey game? That'd be fun, right?
Yep.
So this leads into my question that I have for you guys. We're going to go to the hockey game. It's in February. I have to buy the tickets this week. We're going to an Islanders game, and the NHL just released their retro jerseys. They just redid all the retro jerseys. I have a hookup that could get me a jersey for $160 because that's the jerseys themselves are like $200 something. They're mad expensive. Do I get the Bruins or do I get the Islanders?
I 100% get the Islanders. No.
Now you get the Bruins. Get out of here.
You're a Boston guy.
Get Bruins.
Hold on. I asked my buddy who's a big hockey person. I was like, the Bruins one I really like. I think it's really cool because it's the Bay Area and everything. But I also like the Islanders one because it's the Fisherman. The Fisherman is such an iconic and cool logo.
That is true. Because I would even buy the Fisherman also.
But like, I'm also gonna go to. I have a Bruins jersey already, like with this be in the spoke. So do I do the Islanders and just have fun with it? And I'm going to go to a game, and I'll probably wear it more anyway.
I would get the Islanders one because you don't see the actual Island Fisherman guy often.
No, they discontinued. They literally had that for a year and then got rid of it.
I mean, yes. If it's the nostalgia of having something that's not really going to be there, yes, I would do the Islanders. But if it's purely going off of my fandom, I would get the Bruins.
I'm not a big hockey person. Let's be straightforward. Like I don't care. I watch the Bruins because they're the local team for me, typically in my mind. But I also just think this jersey's sick. I can't.
I
can't get the Islanders one out of my head. I'm like, the Fisherman is so cool. I don't know why. I'm like, this is so awesome.
I did that with baseball. Like, I'm not a big baseball guy, but the St. Louis Cardinals, just like the logo and everything, like for some reason, just sticks with me. I was like,
dude, I have the old school, like original, like logo on a jersey, and I'm like, that's cool. But yeah. Well, that's perfect. That's all I got. Thanks, guys. You helped me out. I've now ordered my jersey. So thank you.
I love it.
Well, in February, Kev, you got another one too. February 10th, you got another one.
Yes, February 10th.
Oh, you guys are going?
Myself and Cyrus are going to go hit up the Wells Fargo Center to see the Sixers play against my New York Knicks. So it's Cyrus, shout out to you for finding the hookup on the tickets. We're gonna be going. It'll be a good time. So anybody in the Philly area that listens to the pod, say hello. We'll be doing some vlogging. Selfieing it up. Me and Cyrus rocking it out.
You may see me scream about how it's a bad call or how
that's fine.
How somebody's not calling the right play. Just FYI, that's the type of person
can't wait. I cannot wait because I feel like watching a basketball game with Cyrus is gonna be like my history lesson. But because then before that, I'm watching one with Merritt, and I know Merritt does the same exact thing. So I'm very excited to get my basketball knowledge up. So we're out here.
Oh yeah. And then in March we're going to Boston.
Yep.
We have those tickets. So I think hopefully guys moving forward once a month at least we'll go to some type of sporting event. If it's both of us, Kevin and I together, if Kevin goes to Cyrus, Andrew goes to one, whoever it is that's been part of this pod. and we'll vlog it. We'll throw it up there. We'll have some fun with it. I think it would be fun to go to a couple minor league baseball games in the summer, since those are relatively inexpensive and they're usually a lot of fun. So, but we'll plan it out. We'll have some fun with it. Maybe we'll go to a Yankees Red Sox game and see how many people that want to beat me up because I'll wear so much Red Sox stuff.
Oh my gosh. But you know what's crazy? Like,
I haven't been in Boston in a while.
Boston's amazing.
No, I haven't been there in a while. My friends, I had some friends that used to live there, but I haven't been there in a while.
Gotcha. I know for me, like, so I'm also going to be going to a Knicks game with my usual group that I go to a Knicks game with, that we have to sit on the Chase Bridge. So that will be happening as well. I don't know if I'm going to any wrestling events soon, so I'll probably sprinkle one of those into the segment. So I feel like we're gonna have a lot of fun with this second portion of the podcast, just to get us out and about. And who knows? We'll see where else we end up. But I would love to, before I do the outro, because I know that's got to come soon.
Yeah, since we've been doing this for 2 hours.
Of course. Cyrus, there's a very important question I'd love for you to answer.
Okay.
Next year, September 16th, 2023, is the Backyard Brawl in Morgantown, West Virginia. I know it's a long time from now, but just letting you know, if you would like to go, let us know, because we're gonna be rocking it out.
I want to go.
You definitely, and I feel like you should go. So,
hey, listen, it can go on my list. I've been to Notre Dame. I've been to Tennessee. I went to 2 Rutgers games.
I would love to go to Tennessee.
Yeah. Believe me, listen, that's another for another podcast. There's tons of stories that come out of that. But you would love it. It is what it is.
I love
Tennessee is a party. It is a party. It is a party from the day you get there to the day of the game. It is a party. Yes. There's more I would have to tell you, but that's another podcast or another couple of hours. So
I love it.
Oh boy.
All right. I guess I'm assuming it should be.
Kevin froze. Everyone,
Kevin out here.
Kevin,
ahead,
you froze. You froze.
Wait. What about now? Am I?
You're good now.
You're good
Go
now.
again.
All right. So we're out here. Outro time. It is my time to shine. Of course, before we go, gotta give our flowers. Cyrus, again, with all of the basketball knowledge. Thank you so much. Make sure you follow Cyrus on his Twitter, because that's where he rocks it out on. And then for the pod, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you give us a like, a comment at our YouTube page at Manly Musings Podcast. Make sure you listen to us on all of the platforms. We have Apple Podcasts. We have Google Play. We have Spotify. We are on Amazon. You can go ahead and follow the Instagrams. Merritt is at Merritt_P. I am at KQuava624. Follow the podcast Instagram, where I post fun clips of us messing up and stuff, at the Manly Musings Pod. And I don't have any poems for you today, but shout out to you guys out there. Enjoy your week, and we'll see you next time.
Peace, y'all.